trying to figure this out because I need to find a way where this can stay still because it's a magnet, right?
Does it turn this way?
It does. We're live right now on YouTube.
Wait, we get to sit on the blue cheese? Honestly.
Okay. Or, I mean, let's move this back just a little bit. What? Yes, mostly. That's perfect right there. Thank you. I'll come over this with my other phone. It's a $400 camera, so it's gonna have my built-in microphone system and all that stuff. Basically, I'm gonna be sitting here.
I have a
As long as it's 30.
Hands off. Hands off, Mr. Brown.
I asked. I expect it's not outside.
He didn't volunteer you.
But you say we'll be on the job.
See what I did there?
What is that?
It lets you know. It lets you know how like far away you are from.
Will this make noise?
It doesn't know what it is. Get back. New shot. Look, 1 cent.
Logan technically, yeah. Like one of them
We're searching for band all the way up here.
You mean
All the way up. Well, there's one. There's not enough seats.
Because we'll be sitting in our seats. We have to sit in other seats. I sit in the cushion seats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, can I have that?
G flat.
4, 5, 6 cushions.
I just need to practice.
What?
Not in the beginning. You do not need to practice. Not good. Everything you go loud. You went too loud.
Damn, Otto's way better than you.
Otto literally made it way too loud.
had to go to fourth in the.
I would just say there, go quieter than you had it, so that it is more of
No, it's not easy. Gotta go. Wait, can I try playing it? It's not difficult.
Yeah, here, you can start at A.
50. There's like 50 of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5 rows.
Two,
There are
three,
like 5 rows.
four,
No, not even.
two,
They have fun.
two.
they actually.
Oh, that's my water.
I think you were off tempo, Evan.
They actually start at 8.
Next year, the crack is going to be like 30
No, it's actually really tiny, yeah.
2 years.
Our class is kind of small. Freshmen are a lot of freshmen. But I think there's a
But we'll already be graduated, so we'll cover that.
unless somebody invites me to join somebody.
Yeah.
What? I'm gonna invite somebody this Sunday. That was gonna hold
Why?
You know exactly why.
Why?
You know why.
No, I know. I don't. Why? Because I know your little sister? What? She's funny. I like her.
Yes, you did. When? When you were playing the bass drum for the song in the concert.
Okay, single. Oh, yeah. Captain so. I'm almost in. This is for the band. It's for percussionists primarily. But I'm here I'm here for this and as a backup. So he was like, any event this year, I need you to be a backup because I know somebody's not going to be here. Everybody's not going to be here. I mean, I've been at every single event besides the parade, so, you know, you think that's really nice support. Yeah, they get you never question.
I'm just here to help.
I was about to say, are you in a band?
No.
No. Yeah, but you're here to help.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I'm here.
Will's over there. Oh, Chad, excuse me. So I could use your assistant. Yeah, we're gonna try to move this, like in this groove here. So I think if we just,
I just warmed up. I just warmed up, and I know.
we have enough.
Down here?
You can use this if you want.
I don't know if
I think we might be able to just get it in there. The problem is you have to. I think we'll get it. Oh no. Can you move the bass amp forward, Brianna? Forward, so we can get that wheel down. Okay, now we're good. Okay, look at that. Perfect. Just enough room. Now afterwards, we're going to have to go back. Thanks. Brandon, if you want an extra stand, we've got one here, but it's up to you. Okay. I'll just leave it there because we got the All right, everybody, if we can warm up, we're going to have some background noise. That's all fun. But we're still going to do a little bit of warm up. Maybe not play through the entire piece or anything like that, but tune that kind of thing. So I really need everybody's focus here, even though it's a little bit distracting. Having people come in, we'll do the best we can. Let's hear a B flat, up the scale, all together, all right? Remember, bells have to be flat. Yeah, I'm gonna Alright, concert B flat scale. Alright, sorry about that. B flat, guys. B flat major scale. Let's hear that in thirds with the low brass, the trombones, tuba, and the bass, please. And then we'll have trumpets and trumpets and same ordering as we did. Okay, here we go. I want to hear just a couple. Let's. We're not going to run stuff, but I just want to hear a few chords and a couple of things. Can I take out pomp and circumstance? Alright, can I hear just the first chord you have at A? What's that? Yes. But I just can't do whatever so you're going to have to wait. Okay. Let's, can I hear the first chord at A, please? First chord at A, if you're playing.
It's fine.
Can you guys hear me back there?
Yeah.
I'm here. You guys can hear me okay? Okay. I just want to hear the first two measures, saxophone and clarinets at A. 1, 2, and ready, and... Good. Let me hear that chord again, please. Everybody at A, please play the first note at A. Ready? And... It might almost be a little... Mine's just put down a tad.
Sure.
Just a tad, because I want the present bass, but I'm worried if I can do it. I think just it's bring it down a little bit.
How do you know? It's not. It's not.
Let's hear that chord again, please. Ready?
Have you zoomed out
Let's
yet?
hear the first chord.
I zoomed it out. It's like a good 20 seconds delay at least.
This is everybody playing at B. First chord at B. First note. Listen for a balance and blending. Here we go. Ready?
It's on a phone.
Once more. Let's hear it back. So again, trumpets, make sure the bells are out of the stands. Let's tune a little bit here. I need everybody really quiet so we can see where we're at. Listen to this note, everybody.
What is he saying?
Key is going to be sharp tonight, folks, so we got to kind of keep things under control as it gets to the temperature's going to warm up. just gonna have to relax as much as it's gonna be sharp. I mean, just relax. Pay your bases, make sure. Good. Can I hear the? Yeah, that's. Can I hear everybody again on their beat clap all together? Keep circling clarinet. Let's hear. Can I hear the first chord at B again? First chord at B. First chord at B. Ready? So guys, just a couple friendly reminders as we talked about earlier today, all right? Can you all hear me, trombones? Can you hear me? You guys can all hear me? Subdivide, again, using 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and make sure that you don't rush through to the ends of the phrases. Lay out the phrases, don't rush them, okay? Lots of air so you get through the phrases all the way through and not rush. You want to have full length phrases and not be early on the next phrase, all right? So that's the key. If we do that, we're going to keep the tempo right on track, all right? I need you guys all to chill here. We have a little while. It's going to fill up in here. It's going to keep filling up. But just chill, hang out. Please don't play your instruments. You can put air into your instruments to keep them warm if you need to do that, although they're going to stay warm. So please do not play your instruments, okay? Don't play your instruments. Thank you, guys. All right. Getting warm in here. This is good go up. We've got plenty on the stairs, that's for sure.
Yeah, I have to say kind of like 3 of those or 4 of those.
Yeah. One deep clean. Snap a picture of the bins. Snap a picture of everybody on their phones.
welcoming our graduates. Marshals, if you could bring the graduates to the center aisle at this time. All right. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us at today's commencement exercises. Please rise and join me in welcoming the graduates of the class of 2025.
allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing as our senior band members join the band for the playing of our national anthem. Audience members may now be seated.
Good evening. My name is Michael Bakukai, and as president of the class of 2026, I would like to welcome you to the commencement exercises for the Easthampton High School class of 2025. Aiden Faber, the junior class vice president, and I will serve as your host for today's exercises. During today's ceremony, we will hear from some honored guests as well as from several graduates. To begin our ceremony, please welcome the principal of Easthampton High School, Mr. William Adams.
Good evening and welcome. Hey, how about the job at the end of this video? We really appreciate being able to have live music in the ceremony, so this will you, band, Mayor L, members of our City Council, School Committee Chair Scott, members of the Easthampton School Committee, Interim Superintendent Benenda, new Superintendent Ball, DHS faculty and staff. I really love that sound. And graduates, family and friends and graduates of the class of 2025, welcome to our commencement exercises. That thunder just started affirming. Okay. I know that having the ceremony inside is an imposition, and we really deeply appreciate everybody's flexibility. We will take a mayhem there for a while, but you're here. I hope everybody that you wanted to be here is here. So, our first order of business. Sean Hopkins, would you please stand up? Happy birthday, Sean. clap like this. Stand up. Please join me. 1, 2, 3. These menus are in order to begin. I want to start with Larry Carnes, Edward Jack, Brian, and the entire facility staff for creating this beautiful setup. Yeah. The entire crew really takes a lot of care and pride to make sure that everything looks just right, and they nail it every time. So, thank you, gentlemen. They also created the big 2025, which is on the opposite side of that wall outside. And if it clears up later, take advantage of that photo op. If it doesn't, we'll leave it up there for a few days and come back and visit it. Another thank you to Taylor Dabney, the senior class advisor. Taylor, the EHS graduate self, joined our team last year and jumped right into the range as the advisor for class 2025. I think you all know that it's not an easy thing to get a large group of humans, particularly the adolescent variety, to agree with each other, or just about anything. So it takes a lot of clarity, firmness, patience, and compassion. All qualities that Taylor has demonstrated in abundance both in the classroom and as the advisor for class 2025. So well done, Taylor. Thank you. Special thanks also to Jenna Hamilton, Lisa McCullough, Jess Marion, Jerry Page, Amanda Judd, and Susan Wilson, and anyone else that found themselves helping out in the front office over the last 2 weeks. There was a lot of folding, sorting, fielding phone calls, collecting money, handing out cash downs, and this year printing, cutting, and counting out tickets, etc. All this while they still basically run the school. So thank you to everyone who had a hand in all of that. And in particular to Jen Hamilton, who was responsible for all of the details of today's ceremony, the diplomas, the flowers, the chairs, the sound, the programs. Jen starts working on graduation in January, and the result is this wonderful ceremony that we all get to enjoy. So thank you very much. To our outgoing interim superintendent, Maureen Amanda. Maureen has been incredibly supportive of the entire EHS community for the last 2 years, so thanks, boss. And finally, thank you to all the amazing educators that have guided these young people to this milestone. If it takes a village to raise a child, it can take a small city to get them to graduate. So anyone that is currently or formerly employed by the Easthampton School District in any capacity, please stand and be acknowledged. Thank you all for really getting these young people to this stage tonight. Oh, one last bit of housekeeping. Bathrooms are through the doors as we go. So, do you all remember your ninth grade year? Because I sure do. You had just spent all of 8th grade in your rooms, pretending or maybe not even pretending to attend Zoom classes. You didn't spend 8th grade in a school with adults continuing to develop your school skills. And when you arrived in 9th grade, it was like you forgot how you everything you had ever learned about how to be a student. It was kind of wild, and I look back on the farm. Fast forward to your senior year, and oh my, it was different. seriously what a huge difference. Somewhere along the line, you all figured it out. And I think I know what happened. So, over time, we started to develop some competence, which gave you some confidence. You reestablished your connections to other humans. You nurtured your core values and so really you built your character. You made contributions to your community. You developed and used new coping skills. And you learned that the only one you can control is you. And you exercise that control with a much higher level of fidelity. So, the dozens of you or so who paid attention to the announcements this year recognize that I just went through the 7 C's of resilience as defined by Dr. Kenneth Kingsford, a pediatrician at the Children's Hospital in Philadelphia. Resilience is one of those words that has gotten tired over the last several years, especially since the pandemic. Tired words often lose their meaning to us. Everyone says, be resilient, but what do they actually mean? So some of our staff members took that question on and subsequently introduced us to Dr. Kingsford's work, the 7 C's of Resilience. And I think it's worth touching on those qualities here on this occasion as you commence the start of your adult life. Because although your life will have lots and lots of joy, it will also have some hard stuff. Some truly difficult, yucky things that will challenge you in ways that you may not be prepared. It is in those moments that you'll need to call upon a set of qualities, a store of hard-earned seeds that will provide you with the resilience you need to get through that yucky stuff. So think about that. Think about which ones are your strengths and which ones you need to develop. And by the way, we all, I mean all of us, are still working on our stuff. There is no day when you get to say, competence, check, got that one done, and all areas of my life, nothing to improve on. So that day never comes. You just take for granted that you will always be developing each of your seeds, always building on them. If you do, then on the day when you need some resilience, because the world has suddenly dealt with some really yucky stuff, it will be there. And you will persevere, get through the yucky stuff, and be ready for more joy. And like I said, there will be lots and lots of joy. So one last rundown, all right? Confidence, connection, character, contribution, coping, and all right, so this next part of my speech doesn't really fit that part. But I really wanted to share what happened earlier today. This morning, before rehearsal, we did a lovely parade through both Mountain View and school in Easthampton High School. It's always very sweet to have all those younger students out in the hallways applauding the graduates like they are the biggest celebrities that they want to this year. It was so much fun. And this year, we added what I am calling the K-12 meeting. So picture the football field, kindergarten students on one goal line, graduates in their caps and gowns on the other. They walk toward each other and meet at the 50-yard line. The graduates each had a little cutout card like this, with a brief note of encouragement for a kindergarten student. And when they met, they gave their hearts to the kindergarten students. I thought they might be. Of course, the administrative team, who else and I screened all of the hearts recording. They were great, there were no issues. But I must say, it was really fun to see what you all wrote. I asked them to think about what they would want a graduating senior to have said to them when they were in kindergarten, and 3 general themes emerged. The first one, many of you wrote something to the effect of be kind, which made me very proud. Another theme was be yourself. And I think it can be said that the journey from K to 12 is that quest to figure that out. And I'm so proud of you for encouraging those young people to really be who they are and stay true to that. And the third one was, enjoy it, it goes by fast. Which I thought was fascinating because I know that you have heard us, adults, say that to you a lot over the last 12 years. And I'm guessing that many of you kind of rolled your eyes after the fifth or sixth time of hearing, enjoy it, it goes by fast. But here you all are, saying it now. So it gets us really good. And by the way, it just gets fast. Am I right? I especially like what your president and vice president said. So Christine wrote, be kind to everyone and make friends with everyone. It's more fun. It's the more fun part of your life. And Sam said, play more hide and seek while you can fit in the good spots. Sam, I'm guessing you cannot fit in the good spots. I cannot. Alright. I have one more piece of business to attend to, and then I'll get out of the way. During the morning announcements to celebrate birthdays, and I would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge our senior or graduates' summer birthday. So I have my list. It's not too long, I promise. We'll go through it quickly. So on June 1, if Blonde had her birthday. So. At the award ceremony last night, we got to sing happy birthday to Roman. You know about Sean. For the rest of June, here we go. June 11th, Trevor Payne Smith. June 18th, Derek Carson. On June 21st, Ryan Delaney. On the 25th, Kane Sid. On the 26th, Jasper Alvarez. On the 27th, what is the income? On the 28th, Caitlin Mahane. On the 30th, Dr. Cheka, Andrew Forster. In July. On the 1st, Julianne Marquis. On the 2nd, Sophie Flaherty. April Miller with the 4th of July baby. Nick Smith on July 9th. Tim Garvey, Molly Marsh, and Dana Martinez all on the 10th. Joining the seniors on the 19th, Kyle Blanford on the 22nd. And 5 birthdays in August. Sadie Plain is on the 9th, Jason McDowell on the 14th, Brittany Silva on the 18th, and another 14th, Addison and Jason Silva are both on the 20th. Really hope the Power School is accurate and in this anymore. Thank you all very much. Enjoy the rest of the ceremony.
At this time, we would like to welcome the president of the class of 2025, Christine.
Not that at all, sadly. Good evening and welcome to Easthampton High School, class 2025 graduation. Thank you to our teachers, our parents, our families, and everyone who has helped us get through this today. Everyone who is here right now and here in spirit has played a part in our life. Whether it be a small part or a huge part, you have helped us become who we are. All of you supporting us, cheering us on, catching us when we fall, literally, we couldn't do it without you, so we thank you. As these past few weeks have come to an end, we have had many opportunities to celebrate together. During those events, I got to watch all of my classmates talk about the future. Felt worried about the future will hold and scared of the uncertainty that lies. Fear isn't the only thing my classmates talk about. They express their courage and excitement and the opportunity to experience new things and expand themselves. Hope was doing was reminiscing on the past and sharing stories. One of my favorite moments happened about a week ago. We were on our way to Boston, and I wish I was exaggerating, but the bus was not quiet for more than 10 seconds. I love listening to the laughter and stories, even though I was trying to sing. All of the stories and things that sleep have led us to where we are today. We finally get to graduate from Easthampton High School in 5 minutes. We all are about to go on a journey of life in our own separate ways with our own people making new memories. Some of us are going to travel the world, some are going to college, some are going right to working, but most of all, we're all still trying to figure it out. Today is a beautiful day. It's a day we take our first step towards the rest of our lives. We get to go from being a small red box with 3 floors to a beautiful world where we can follow our dreams and no one can stop us. Some of you may know this, but I have written my fair share of speeches throughout the years. However, this has been the hardest one. How am I supposed to write a speech to represent 93 individual people? Each one of us has a story, and a very different story. But there is one thing we all have, and that is change. Change is something not many people like, especially at our age. We have started experiencing change at a slow pace, from kindergarten and taking naps to learning fractions in 4th grade. We learn to adjust from having 1 or 2 teachers at a time in 4th grade to having 3 or 4 teachers at a time in middle school. Some changes are a lot harder and faster. From going to school every day and having to spend our days at home, doing schoolwork online, and the only way of communication with our friends was a work phone or a Zoom. It feels like we've been through it all, and yet we haven't even scratched the surface. My favorite part about this whole thing, graduation and moving on and growing up, is doing what I want to do. From the first day of kindergarten meeting one another for the first time, till the first day of middle school meeting a weird set of random kids. I'm kidding. Well, not really. Or the set of random kids meeting the not as weird, amazing kids. Not really. Throughout our years in public school, we have found our people, our passions, and while that, we grew into the people we are today. But I'm not going to pretend that it also wasn't filled with the world ending wrong, heartbreak, and things we thought we were going to do. But the funny thing is, today, a lot of that doesn't happen. Today, we are here together to experience this great change. No matter how far we go, we will always have our home people. Some of us have found our here, our home people, our chosen family. But if you haven't, I promise you they're out there waiting. Before I end this, I just want to say thank you one last time for the sake of just for me. Thank you to my fellow classmates. Thank you for trusting me to be your president, and thank you for always being there when it was most important. To all the parents out here this evening and families, you did an amazing job with your kids, and you should be proud. Today is a beautiful day. It's our first step towards the rest of our lives. We get to go from being a little red box with 3 floors to a beautiful world where no one can stop us and we can follow our dreams. Congratulations, class of 2025, we made it.
Thank you, Christine. At this time, we would like to welcome the Treasurer and Secretary of the Class of 2025 to the stage for the presentation of the class day. Please welcome Addison Barr and Elena Brown.
Good evening, faculty, family, friends, and fellow graduates. My name is Devin O'Brien, and I'm in class of 2025.
I'm Addison Barr, and I'm in class secretary.
Our high school years have been a That is why our class gift, we'd like to present the junior class with a deposit for the High Meadows trip. A gift to display the extent of our gratitude.
Gratitude is the reason classmates do this. And seeing as we quite literally reached capacity in this gymnasium with the number of guests this evening, I can say confidently that I speak on behalf of the class in thinking that gratitude is our biggest emotion as we go through the events of tonight. We would like to recognize the importance and encourage the act of paying it forward. The act of displaying gratitude for an act of kindness is seen by presenting one subsequently to the next person. These acts can be as simple as passing on a smile, or as much as paying for the person behind you in the drive-thru. In this way, we as students can create a chain of joy as we receive acts of kindness and encourage others to continue that path. Our gift to the junior class is our way of continuing the chain and paying for the people behind us in the drive-thru, as we have been paid for by everyone in this room in ways worth much more than any monetary value.
I would not be sitting here today without some people in the States, and I'd just like to take a second to thank them. First, my mom. Thank you for being there for me and helping me become the woman I am today. Thank you for choosing to be a mother, and I'm so lucky to be your daughter. Next, I'd like to thank Ms. Brown and Ms. Diamond. There aren't enough words to say what I want to, so I'll summarize it like this. My tomorrow self will never regret my yesterday's self for learning and watching how you teach and becoming motivated to do the very same thing and help students to make it over here. Last but not least, I need to thank my best friend who is Caitlin for giving me a high school experience full of laughing until we can't breathe, late night drives, and side quests to avoid homework we definitely should have been doing. I am so excited to enter this new stage of life with you and with everyone involved. I will be very on brand and share a goals from Taylor Swift to remind you, if you never leave, you're never going to grow. Thank you so much, and we're for you.
Thank you to the class of 2025. I am honored to introduce our next speaker to offer congratulatory remarks. The Mayor of the City of Easthampton, Nicole LaChapelle.
Good evening, graduates, families, and faculty. Let's get down to brass tacks. Let's talk about you. And let's talk about parents. You just came through something big. And I don't mean just high school. You've been coming of age in a time that is nothing but ordinary. Global pandemics, climate chaos, political gridlock, means that age faster than bananas. And yet here you are. You didn't just survive. You showed up. And that's more than what most people can manage. So what are you doing now? I've heard a little bit about it already, and I can't wait to see what you do. But let's be real, the world is a bit of a mess. Every generation gets handed a mess. But the mess that you're looking at is maybe one of the biggest ones we've seen in a generation. And the only question is, what will you do with this mess? The answer is not to take a side, but to consider all sides. And I see many of you doing that every day. You don't have to save the world by Thursday. Just don't sleepwalk through. Ask questions. Be curious. Speak up. Even when your voice shakes. And for the love of all that is precious, vote. I am standing here not because I am made, but somebody who believes in you. Not because you're perfect or polished, but because you're scrappy, you're smart, you're resilient, and you know how to adapt. You've shown that. You've already lived through the kind of chaos that builds leaders. Not the ones who yell the loudest, although some of you are very loud, soft plays, fantastic. But the ones who listen, who show up, and who care. We need more of that. We need more of you, and we need you now. So take this diploma. Celebrate, party safely, but also take up space, dream boldly, challenge systems that don't work. And when they tell you you're too young, you're too new, take your turn, get in line. Don't listen to them. Change it. Change it anyways, and change it now. Don't wait. We need you. Class of 2025, you are not the future. You're the right now, and I can't wait to see what you do next. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor Washington. Our next speaker is the salutatorian of the Easthampton High School class of 2025. Please welcome Addison Barr.
Good evening again, faculty, family, friends, and fellow graduates. I am honored to stand here twice today as we cross this finish line. A finish line is defined as the final point of a process, and it's a term I am very familiar with. I live in two worlds, a world of competitive running and sports, and a world of academics and all other aspects of my life. A finish line is a well-known term in the world of running, but is not limited to this world. I've crossed many finish lines equally significant in both worlds. Throughout my years, I've learned that my two worlds follow quite similar paths. The parallels between the two worlds are the lessons that have shaped me into who I am. Today, as we transition to the next chapter of our lives, I would like to share these lessons with you, with the hopes that what I have learned from my experiences will inspire you as you embark on this most exciting and important time in our lives. First, I learned that running is a choice. Some days it feels amazing, and some days it is uphill battle. As an athlete, I learned that you have to get up and do it anyways. You have to push through the bad days to reach the good days. The challenging days plodding along the track have taught me to push through the days when a bad grade on the test seemed like the end of my life, or when an argument felt like the end of the mission. The hard days of running have taught me that bad days in life are inevitable. But you can always count on a second wind that buoys your spirit and allows you to keep moving forward. Second, I've learned that while running often appears to be a solo sport, it is impossible to keep moving without coaches, friends, and family encouraging you from the sideline, and without your teammates who run alongside you. The gratitude that I have for coaches like Coach Ryan and Miller is immense. They each taught me countless lessons on and off the field. But my gratitude is not limited to my athletic coaches. I'm sure that you all take a moment right now, you can think of people who have coached you, encouraged you, helped you, give you perspective at a crucial moment, made you check your pride, give you a hug when you were depressed, or most importantly, helped you realize that we all make mistakes, we all have setbacks, and it's not that difficult. These people are not given a moniker coach, yet we know they have shaped us into who we are today. All of us can think of faculty at this school that we've had the privilege to experience, who have left lasting impacts in our lives. In a small town, we've had the privilege to grow up with close-knit friends that we will always remember, the peers we could always count on. We've had the privilege to graduate high school alongside many of our best teammates, and with the people we love in the audience, to celebrate the battle we can as we finish this race. I couldn't be more grateful to be looking out at all of my teammates supporting me through this moment. The people we meet through our journey provide us with a plethora of memories to cherish. But as we begin this next adventure, I encourage my fellow graduates to identify, nurture, and express gratitude for our foundation, a concept I was taught at a young age. An unwavering group of individuals to fall back on that keep you striving through all hardship. Our closest teammates, biggest fans, and best coaches. My foundation consists of 4 individuals who have exemplified the virtues that I now strive to practice in my life and share for others in their future endeavors as I express my gratitude. First, it's the person who runs alongside me in every race. The person who shares each and every experience with me. I have been blessed to travel through life with Sam as my co-brother. My example during college. My second is my
and the person I wish to one day become. But most of all are my twin brothers, the firm center to my foundation, for whom I could leave nowhere to go. My mothers have always led me to believe that I could be anything I wish, and that I could accomplish anything I wanted. They never failed to offer the love, support, and time, and resources to become who I am. But most importantly, they taught me through an example to be a good person. My mom has taught me the value of kindness and honesty, to be empathetic, to have a good work ethic, and to never quit. My other mother has taught me to always show gratitude, the power of communication, the ability to solve problems, and to support my community and the people around me. Together, they allow me to cross each and every finish line, proud to be their daughter, and share who they are as models for others. The last and biggest lesson that I have learned through running is that no finish line is an end. Every time you cross the finish line, you're poised at the start of a new race, the beginning of a new process. I encourage all of my fellow graduates to appreciate the significance of this day as both the start and the finish. But most importantly, to learn to love everything in between. Life will never be a straight line. We must embrace the values to reach the peaks. Understand that we learn the most about ourselves in the struggle to reach where we are trying to go. Congratulations, class of 2025.
And now, offering congratulatory remarks on behalf of the Easthampton School Committee, please welcome the Chair of the Easthampton School Committee, Laura Stout.
I just want to take a second before I start to acknowledge the energy in the room. And I think we're probably not the only family that has lost people who tonight have been really important for. So I just want to take a second to say I'm not an authority on anything, but I feel pretty confident saying I think they're here with us tonight. And I think they're holding us up. We appreciate that. Thanks, Zach. Good evening, Easthampton. I have attended many graduations, and I have always moved and honored to bear witness to such a meaningful milestone. But tonight is particularly personal for me. My oldest son is a member of the Easthampton High School class of 2025, and an amazing preschool that I've received. You are such an incredible, kind, and thoughtful group of humans. This evening, I am simply filled with love, pride, and gratitude. My cup runneth over. While we are gathered to laud the accomplishments and character of this graduating class, I would be remiss not to acknowledge the families and the community that played a critical role in supporting these students on their journey thus far. Ours is a community that prioritizes public education and that holds our schools as our center, our communal beating heart. Ours are families who show up for one another to share in joy, in sorrow, and in crisis. We may not be wealthy, but we enjoy an abundance of generosity and sincere emotional investment. Meal trains, carpools, fundraisers, donations of time, goods, and money in support of our library, community center, senior center, parks, sports, arts, and music. In all of these ways and more, we care for one another. Together, we act as stewards to protect and to improve the community that we've all helped to build and that we all treasure so dearly. I am proud every day to be here, to belong here, and honored to serve the community. It's like a living thing, a community, ever-changing and evolving. It relies on new stewards joining its ranks, helping to take up the mantle and sharing its burdens and its benefits. And this work, this labor of love, it is never perfect and it is never complete. It requires three constants: curiosity, compassion, and courage. We engage with curiosity to investigate our shortcomings and balance our shared knowledge with ingenuity to shape the best solutions for our future. We embrace compassion to open our hearts and minds, to gain acceptance of our differences, and to work through disagreement with grace and respect. We employ courage to defend our shared values, to protect the vulnerable, and to continue the difficult work, even when the obstacles are many and the outcomes uncertain. Tonight, with our graduates, we bask in our love, our pride, and our gratitude. Tomorrow, our work begins again, and we will be joined by this class, this new generation of stewards, brimming with energy, tenacity, and hope. Together, we are ready. Ready to face daunting challenges, listening and learning to gain a better understanding of one another. Ready to put our principles into practice. Together, fortified with curiosity, compassion, and courage, we are ready for tomorrow. Congratulations to class of 2025.
Thank you, Ms. Scott. Our next speaker is the valedictorian of the EHS class of 2025. Please welcome Ella Buckley.
I'm so honored to be addressing all of you today. Looking out at all of my classmates' faces, I'm reminded of just how long we've all known each other. Whether we realize it or not, we share with one another a strong and lasting connection, the type of connection you rarely find in life. I could pick out all the students who are in the kindergarten class, the kids I played with on the middle school playground, the people I played soccer with at Hamilton Park, the people I spent time with during such formative years. I think that in a time like this, we often feel an urge to revert back to our younger self, a version of us that had a simple, carefree existence. It's terrifying what we're about to do. We're adults, or at least we're supposed to be, and that's really scary. I think we all want to hang on to childhood a little bit longer, and yet we are excited for the next chapter. In the poem, Now You're 6, A.M. Miller writes, "But now I am 6, and as clever, so I think I'll be 6 now, forever and ever." That was my mom's superhero quote. I love you, Mom. And I think about that a lot. Sometimes that feels like the easiest option, to be content with where you are and stay there forever. But if we stay the same forever, so does the world. It can be overwhelming to look to the future, but the journey we're about to embark on is also thrilling and exciting. High school can be such a confining and restrictive experience, especially in such a small town. Everyone knows everyone knows your business, and you're surrounded by people who have known you since elementary school and decided long ago who you are. From a young age, I was branded as smart, intense, and a little bit crazy. I was constantly told this story about who I was, and my sense of self began to fracture once I finished high school. I fought my story for so long. But I eventually realized that maybe that story wasn't so bad. Maybe I could flip it and make it my own. It's true, I am passionate, and maybe I am a little crazy. I was finally able to accept myself and take advantage of the experiences offered to me in high school. Coming from Easthampton, it can often feel like we live in a small, sheltered bubble far away from the real world. A this bubble gave us so many opportunities we see before us today. When I entered high school, I was already praying for graduation day and my eventual escape to college in Big City. I struggled and searched for my purpose, my passion, my greatest strengths, and along the way, I joined the cheer team, quit soccer after 13 years of being a school play, and became a part of the Big People family. I was given a place where I felt safe to try new things and find myself. The truth is that none of us know who we are yet, but the chance to explore and experiment at this crucial stage in life is vital to our development as people. We also have to remember what's truly important in life. 60 years ago, my grandmother delivered a valedictory speech about peace and the need for action among her generation. Her words in 1965 ring true for us today as we look toward our own futures. Right at this very moment, there is intense political discord and persecution all throughout the world. People are suffering every day. We all find ourselves at a crossroads. A decision between barreling ahead with life as we know it and prioritizing the future of the world as we want it to be. To quote my grandmother, is our only contribution to the utter destruction of all that they have made, all the beauty and splendor and noble thoughts that we call civilization, when we have the chance to add something of our own to this that has been given us, are we to throw the chance away? So, my message to you is this: never stop questioning. Question authority, question rules, question each other, and most importantly, question yourselves. Be brave enough to create your own story about who you are, and take the opportunities given to your life. Don't let this bubble become a hiding place. Use it as a sanctuary, a place to foster growth. Stay curious, and we will become the thinkers that our generation so desperately needs. Congratulations, class of 2025.
The class of 2025 is very pleased to present this year's commencement speaker. Jared Warren graduated from Easthampton High School in 2000. He ventured out into the world by attending UMass Amherst, a full 14 miles away. There's a major in history and minor in sociology. By the spring of 2004, he was back at AHS, student teaching with Mr. Wilby. In our fall, Mr. Wilby became the dean of students, and Mr. Warren was hired to replace him. That was 21 years ago, which is amazing since he is only 28 years old. During his time at AHS, Mr. Warren has served as the National Honor Society Advisor, the Model UN Advisor, and the Class Advisor for the classes of 2009, 2013, 2016, 2017, 2022, 2023, and now the class of 2027. He has also served as a building representative for the Easthampton Education Association. Please welcome to the podium, Mr. Jared.
So my original plan this evening was to give this speech wearing an eagle costume. But it is 40 degrees too warm in this gym for me to wear an eagle costume. But you know I would have done it. I was judge, I was priest, I was George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. I have a little bit too much fun. So good evening, parents, families, friends. Superintendent Beninda, new Superintendent Dalton, Principal Evans, Assistant Principal Wilson, Mayor LaChapelle, City Council members, school committee members, EHS faculty and staff, and the reason we are all gathered here this evening, the members of the Easthampton High School class of 2025. Chosen by members of the class of 2025 to serve as your commencement speaker. The last time I spoke on this stage was 25 years ago, when I graduated from Easthampton High School in the year 2000. 2,000. Well, let me stop and think a minute to make sure I get the math correctly. I'm working on my math, as you all know. Trying to divide up into groups in class is always a challenge. And I can usually figure it out once a week. So all I remember about giving that speech was that every time I turned my head, or even just moved my head a little, my castle would hit me in the face. I also somehow managed to get one of those little strings in that castle caught in my braces. Mid-speech, right? I attempted to wrangle it out of my braces to no avail. I had to stop mid-speech, use both hands, and wrestle it out. Now, I know these last two statements are a shock to everyone who knows me, because I am never known to be a fussy person. Needless to say, I'm very happy that I'm not wearing a cap and a castle as I speak with this evening. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Gary Warren. For the past 21 years, I've had the privilege to teach history, sociology, and even Spanish 1 once here at Easthampton High School. VHS 25 years ago, I had only dreamed about coming back home to teach and give back to the community that had given so much to me. Not many people can say that they are working in their dream job. I'm very thankful every year to be able to say this. I have never thought about leaving and moving to a different school, and the reason is simple. It is because of you, the students at Easthampton High School. Most of you when you entered 9th grade on September 2nd, 2021, or when the second semester began on January 31st, 2022. The first semester I taught U.S. History 1 academic classes, and in the second semester of that year, I taught 2 U.S. History 1 honors classes. In case you were wondering, this means that I met 71 of you during this school year. Yes, I did go into power school in counseling. Since then, I have been lucky enough to see many of you in my world history classes, sociology classes, and many of you in both of those classes. It is amazing to see how much you have grown over the last 4 years. Speaking of this growth, let's take a few minutes to think back to our lives 4 years ago when we first met each other. As you know, I do love history. A lot has changed since you all started high school in September 2021. This was our first school year, as Ms. Evans already alluded to, back together after remote learning and hybrid learning that was caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. After a year and a half of living in near isolation, dealing with the pain of losing family members and the stress of catching COVID and not knowing exactly how this virus would affect you if you caught it, and attempting to do school on a computer full of blank Zoom boxes, we were all ready for a change. I remember how happy I was to be back in school, and that same sentiment was echoed by many of you as we began that new school year. Even though we were ready to move forward, there were many challenges we still had to face as we were navigating through the pandemic. You, the members of the class of 2025, persevered and never gave up, helping to get to where you are today. One of those challenges we all faced was starting the school year wearing masks and getting used to wearing masks for 6+ hours at a time. You never complained. You kept those masks on with minimal reminders to keep up your masks under your nose. As you get ready to leave VHS, remember to never give up and push through any challenges that may come and will come your way. While many of you were excited to be back in person, another challenge we all faced was getting back into a routine and the rigor of school. Remote learning and Zoom classes was not ideal. How many of you logged into the Zoom class and either fell back to sleep, started playing a video game, or watched a TV show or a movie? How many of you actually turned your camera on? remember that first time seeing somebody back, and I was like, oh, you're much taller than I thought. Oh, you're taller than I thought. I don't know. I had any visions because I never saw you until March of that year. How many of you actually turned your camera? I already said that. My bad. Probably not too many. There were some assignments given, and we tried our best, but school is not meant to be. Oh, that was loud. I'm sorry. But school is not meant to be done on a computer screen in your bedroom. Starting high school is challenging enough, let alone making this transition from remote learning in middle school to learning in person in high school. You are now expected to be present in your classes, to participate in class discussion, complete classwork assignments, do homework, and to study for and take tests. You, the members of the class of 2025, never gave up and persevered through this huge transition in your lives. Not only did you never give up, you constantly amazed me by your excitement to be in school and your willingness to participate in class and work hard. I have faith that you will be successful no matter what path you take from here, as your first experience has gotten you to where you are today. As we leave here this evening and enter the workforce, this summer, the military, or college in the fall, I encourage you to persevere through any challenges that you will face. No matter which path you choose after high school, you will face challenges and hardships along with successes and achievements. Adulting is not easy, but you can do it. Besides perseverance, I have a few more pieces of advice to offer you as you begin the next chapter of your life. How many of you remember the first day of class that you were in my U.S. History 1 class, my World History class, or my Sociology class? Unfortunately, none of you were in my Spanish class, so that was in the fall of 2004. So I didn't come to Spanish. I begin every class I teach introducing. Oh wait, rewind. Does the phrase civic disposition ring a bell? I begin every class I teach introducing students to civic dispositions and having students complete a poster project on one of those civic dispositions that we hang up around the class. A civic disposition is a trait, a value, and a behavior that helps individuals participate in and act responsibly in the community that they live in. It is basically a guide to how to be a good citizen and human. There are 12 civic dispositions, or behaviors that have been identified. When we were in class, I asked you to think about how we could apply these behaviors to our class and community, so that we could have a successful semester, and I had you put your posters up around the room to remind us how we should act and behave. Tonight, I have chosen 5 of these civic dispositions to talk about, and to offer you some advice on how these behaviors can help you achieve success in the next chapter of your life. The first civic disposition I want to talk about is respect. Respect is embracing the value of people for who they are, using kind words to each other, understanding and honoring people's choices, trying to understand how others feel, and valuing yourself, your time, and your own well-being. I am a firm believer in the idea that you need to give respect to get respect. So here is my advice on how to give respect so you can be a good citizen of the community you live in. When someone is talking to you, listen to them. Don't interrupt them. And if they say something you don't agree with, that is all right. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, even you. Speak kindly to one another. There is no need to put someone down and make rude comments to one another. How have you felt that this has happened to you in the past? Life is hard enough. Why should any of us have to deal with this? Remember your manners. Say please and thank you. Hold the door for the person behind you. Sometimes these kind words and actions are just the things someone needs who is having a really bad day. Finally, take care of yourself and stand up for what you believe in. Don't let anyone compromise your values or put you down for what you believe in. The second civic disposition I believe you should practice throughout your life is tolerance. You can't always get what you want. The lines in the song are important words to remember. In all of our relationships, whether it be with our partners, our families, our friends, or even our co-workers, compromise must be a guiding principle in our interactions with each other. How would you feel if you never got what you wanted? What would happen to these relationships over time? Meeting in the middle, each person in the relationship getting a little bit of what they want, and being willing to not get everything you want, are key components to maintaining break apart when one person is unwilling to compromise. It is okay to not get everything you want all of the time. For those of you heading to college in the fall, your ability to compromise will be tested when you meet your first college roommate. Yes, you know. One of you might like to stay up late, and the other might like to go to bed early. One of you might like to watch TV or movies or online, while others will want to read. The list can go on and on. You will need to figure out how to get along. This will only be done with compromise. A third civic disposition I feel is important to practice in our lives is civil discourse. The ability to have a discussion where everyone has the ability to share their ideas in peace, calmly, and in a respectful manner is becoming more and more difficult in the world we live in today. How many discussions have you had in your lives or have witnessed that have started out calm, but when someone says something that the other person disagrees with, the discussion turns into an argument? How many family functions have turned into family feuds when the topics of politics or religion come up, for example? Civil discourse is not just limited to verbal, face-to-face discussions. Social media has been a game changer over the last 10 years, causing civil discourse to become the exception and not the norm. It is so easy to say whatever comes to your mind without thinking about the word, how you word going to affect the person you are saying it to. I encourage you to think before you speak. Text, tweet, Snapchat, or whatever you think with these days. I also want you to remember that you have the right to have an opinion, and so does everyone else who will meet throughout your life. Don't spend your life engaged in Twitter wars, angry Snapchatting, passive-aggressive texting, or family feud. Instead, listen to what other people have to say. You don't have to agree with them. That is okay. A fourth civic disposition, I feel is essential to practice in our lives today, is individual responsibility. After all, you are the only one responsible for your actions, decisions, and the consequences of these actions and decisions. Your friends, parents, siblings, co-workers might influence you to act or talk in a certain way, but ultimately you are in control of your own actions. Individual responsibility has been a huge part of your schooling over the past 13 years. You have to make choices to do your homework, study for tests and quizzes, participate in class discussions, be kind to other students in class, and even would take time to help one another in class if one was struggling or confused while learning the material. I want you to keep this in mind as you leave high school. If you are going to college next year, nobody is going to be there to remind you to do the readings assigned in the syllabus. No one is going to take attendance in a big lecture called out of class. No one is going to remind you to turn that paper or work on that presentation. If you live on campus, nobody is going to wake you up in the morning to make sure that you get to class on time. Professors will not allow you to stroll in 5 or 10 minutes late or whenever you feel like. You are going to be on your own. If you are entering the work world after graduation, I want you to know that deadlines mean something. If your boss asks you to do something, they want it by that day. They need it. Not the next day, not a week from them, not 2 months from them. If you make a mistake, admit it. Don't try to blame someone else. Admit responsibility. Your boss and your coworkers will respect you more if you own up to the mistake. Finally, in your daily life, clean up after yourself. Throw your trash away. No one is going to be following you around cleaning up your trash. Help around the house. This also applies when you start your own family one day. Help in the lawn, make dinner, do the dishes, vacuum, mow the lawn, shovel or snow, just to name a few chores. Being an adult and individual responsibility go hand in hand. Finally, the last disposition I believe must guide our behavior on a daily basis is open-mindedness. Being willing to consider new ideas and perspectives without letting your personal biases or preconceived notions get in the way is key to helping us unite and come together as a community. How many arguments have you witnessed or participated in due to differences of opinion? The next time you find yourself having a discussion about, let's say, politics or religion, remember to listen to the other person's perspective or opinion without interrupting or arguing. Chances are, if you let the other person talk, they will let you talk and not interrupt you when they are finished sharing their ideas. If you are working on a group project in one of your college classes or with co-workers, then one of your group members presents a different way to complete the task than the way you are thinking. Stop, listen to them, then engage in a discussion as a group on how to complete the task. People are often quick to judge them if you don't take the time to stop and consider somebody else's point of view. Why spend your life arguing and fighting? We are fortunate to live in a country where we have many in mind the next time you are having a discussion with someone who has a different opinion than you. Listen to them. Remember that they have the right to opinion just like you have the right to yours. Then share your opinion in a calm and respectful way. Practicing open-mindedness will help bring us together and will help you develop positive relationships throughout your life. To the class of 2025, thank you for choosing me to be your commencement speaker. I have thoroughly enjoyed getting to know you over the past 4 years. I wish you all the best as you leave here tonight. Remember to never give up. Be respectful in all of your interactions. Be willing to compromise. Talk to each other in a kind way. Take responsibility for your own actions. And be open-mindedness in all interactions. I look forward to seeing you continue to learn and grow as we leave the nest and fly off to the next adventure in life. My fellow students.
Thank you, Mr. Owen. At this time, we will confer the diplomas to the graduating members of the Easthampton High School class of 2025. Assistant Principal Susan Wilson will read the names of each graduate. Mr. Evans will present the diploma and offering congratulations to the Superintendent Fernandez and Mayor Washington.
Evening, everyone. Hey, it's been an absolute honor to be your assistant principal. Very proud of you. Christine Marie Raymond. Samuel Francis McDonald Hall. Addison Grace McDonald Barr. Devin Lee O'Brien. Benjamin Burton. Mayuri Gupta. Hannah Newman. Samson Oppenheim. Grace Ann Papadelis. Asta Patel. Yu Darshan Patel. Rita Amelia Pereira. Veronica Camille Raposa. Amelia Faith Richmond Payne. Ava Grace Roberts. Ava Solen Romero. Jackson Charles Scott. Emma Sharifa Shea. Addison Jean Sigda. Haley Flora Sid. Sophie Lena Slahekra. Aaron Scott Sparko Jr. Adele Lydia Vidham. Braylon Mary Willett. Oscar Dan
Ryan Morris Carson McDonald. Colby John Clapper. Shelby Jean Clark. Willa May Copperfield. Cameron Cormier. Dalton Dahlquist. Saisha Marie Gabriel. Connor Delaney.
Then that's it. No, then Sam just he gets the honors. Yeah, he gets to do. Well, not. Oh, you weren't there.
Hayden Donna. Connor Flowey Donis. Sadie Amelia Flynn. Sebastian Stanislav Kalicki. Opportunity to thank the Easthampton Public School staff, students, families, community leaders, and partners. I want you to know that it has been an honor to serve as your interim superintendent for the past 2 years. I also like to thank the students. It has been wonderful to speak with you in the hall, go into the classrooms, meet the people, and have the many conversations I've had with you. I wish you much happiness as you go forward. At this time, I'd also like to acknowledge Ms. Wilson and Mr. Evans. Let's give them a round of applause.
of introducing you to the new superintendent of Easthampton Public Schools, Dr. Michelle Ball. Dr. Ball is joining us from Springfield Public Schools. She started working in the district Monday, and she'll be transitioning into the superintendent's position on July 20. And now the most important announcement. With the powers invested in me by the state of Massachusetts, I certify that these students have completed the Massachusetts requirement for a diploma, and congratulate and recognize the Easthampton class of 2025 as high school graduates.
And now to offer closing remarks for the turning of the tassels, please welcome the class of 2025 Vice President Sam Barr.
Let me tell you about the couch that's sitting in my basement. Yesterday or last year, Chris, Hughes, Rowan, and I were walking downtown to rent a pedal boat on National Electron, and then we saw it. Outside the closing nail salon next to our company, there was a gorgeous brown leather couch with a piece of paper on it that had the best four-letter word for 4 Jerome High School students: 3. This was only described as excitement. We began our inspection and discovered not only was it a couch, it also reclined into a futon, and it had bubbles. So the free sign was taped onto the carbon couple we folded down. So when we folded down the carbon couplers, the free sign was hidden. So the ingenious minds of 17-year-olds, we left the sign in it, and then we went to go pedal boat, and then if it was there when we got back, we might have taken it. Anyway, so half hour later, after frantic pedaling horrible sheets each and so, and a near capsize as Luke and I tried to swap the seats so I would take my pedaling, we got back, couch was still there. Logically, we have to haul this big couch into my little Subaru Forester that I shared with my sisters, and we didn't have any idea where we were going to keep it. So now we have a couch in our car and nowhere to put it. Like I said, ingenious. The next 5 days, we're just passing the couch between friends, which included, but are not limited to, bringing it downtown to eat ice cream with the Wheeling Peking team. We have a furniture expert, Christina Holland, giving the couch her seal of approval. And breaking into Thompson's house to steal it out of his basement because we decided he didn't have to keep it in his basement anymore. So, finally, it's in our base now, and now it's a regular city for poker nights and an occasional bed for Jason Sitka. I tell the story on the couch not only because it's an intimate couch, it's a couple, so we have to. One of the best memories that I've had from these 4 years. That stretch of doing something so arguably absurd, and then also having to cross the door and furniture pieces to go with it, like I couldn't have done it by myself. So I'm sharing it with all of you to help keep the story alive. I'll never be back in Cottage Street picking up that couch again, but sharing that memory is more than to bring back the feeling of what it was like grabbing a couch from Cottage Street. And that story is only the beginning of a long list of stories I'd like to share, but can't because I'm not going to go home. Let me start with some of my favorite stories of the staff of the school. Let me tell you about my incredible Words with Friends 2 win streak against that man, Jared Orr. I have beaten him many times, and then the one time I was going to lose, I decided to leave the app after it, and then we haven't put it in. So I have a win streak. I have to win the record. I'm undefeated. Can't beat that. Also, my nearly 7-page quote book from Mr. Phillips' intro to physics class. That there were some great quotes, like, I'm just fast like that. That was practice. There's a whole lot of and then also the countless hours I spent with Dr. Cheka, who coached me in math, trivia, and life. From music people to the computer science principles, every teacher in class I've worked with has taught far beyond the curriculum and shaped me into who I am today. Let me tell you about the people at EHS. From getting lost on Mount Tom with Jason Signa in the dark and hearing a rabbit snake while flying down the rocks that are covering his face. Actually, I think I said Jason Signa from Disney Hall. I did that at Disney Hall. I'm tired, sorry. Also, writing a parody song and making stats. Where is that? And oh yes, spending a week in Ireland with Roman out of like after a month of planning. Yeah, what's Roman powers on that too? Can I get some? There's seemingly endless other stories I share with classes that never fail to put a smile on my face. Because if everyone who just achieved their diploma, I'm not surprised that people call this the best years of their life. Here's where I'm really at. Let me tell you about my family, the support system that makes everything in my life work. Let me tell you about both of my mothers, who have sacrificed so much for me, tired of doing work every day to make my life work. Without their love, kindness, and forgiveness, I would not be sitting here. As my mom loves to say, there's no crying. Let me tell you about Maggie. My older sister was the role model for all my life. Ever since I was little, I wanted to be more like this, and that still hasn't changed. From pickle jokes to pastry shopping at her college, I have loved and will continue to love every second with Maggie. I have loved and will continue to love every second with Maggie, because I will always aspire to be more Maggie. Let me tell you about Maggie, and I'm unbelievably proud of her. Every day, I get to come home and see her working, and it will never fail to me. Aside from her numerous accolades, I am always in awe of the work she puts behind everything she does. It will always be 110%, whether it's school, sports, or friends. I am beyond grateful for all my future, and I cannot imagine going through this 18-year life with anyone else. You can ask Stephen about performing surgery on penis foot in the Dominican Republic, or Caleb about winning senior assassin, or Chris about that time I made him a black eye. Everyone has something to tell you, and they will tell it to you with all the enthusiasm that comes to it. So, sometime down the road, when your graduate comes up to you and asks you about the time when parents, family, and friends got out their cameras, then they got out their cameras, and the graduates threw their hats up in the air and graduated high school. Our lives may just be getting started, but these are the stories we want to remember. Tell your stories and make them last.
Alright, so he's right, you got the cameras, but this is a Kodak moment here. And so, if the marshals could please raise their graduates. Sam, it's all yours. Get back to your seats. And we're going to start the song now. And please, we don't have do we have a song or something? Let's go. You guys don't have it? Hang on, we're always there. To the rescue, President Barr. By the way, Mom Barr, you're wrong about crying at graduation. Your children do that over and over. We're going to do this, yeah. This song. All right, here we go. Breathe in and out.